Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Not Offended podcast. I'm your boy, Anthony, the conservative Chicano, sitting next to what? The Bishop? What's going on, Bishop? How you doing?
Great.
As you can tell, this is not the agent. The agent is on vacation. Shout out to my boy, Bill. But we have a special guest sitting in his seat over there. We got Jonathon Martinez. What's up, Payaso?
Hey, how we doing? I'm good. Glad to be here.
And then, of course, we got the token, Mike, who, before we went on air, Jake asked, John, what does payaso mean? John, tell everybody what it means.
It means clown.
We were going to go a little joker, but mira, it's taken.
Yeah. There's no more room.
So Jake says, well, isn't that kind of disrespectful? And Mike, what'd you say?
Well, like token was any better than that?
So hold on. So Mike, is that your way of saying you don't like your name?
No, I don't like my name.
It comes out. I knew it.
I'm in church and half the people refer to me as token.
Yeah.
Ay, mira, there goes Pastor Token. Behave.
People come up to me for the first time. Like, I have no idea what my name is. They're like, hey, what's up, Token?
Oh, dude.
Is there anything you want to comment about this, DeShawn? You want to say anything?
I didn't give it to him. I don't know.
John, I like his name. Do you like his name?
I love it. I'm going to send all the kids to you now, Pastor Mike. Mira, if you want to go Chick Cheese, go talk to Pastor Mike. He's the token.
Dang.
He's got a lot of tokens.
Well, I mean, it could have been Weddle, right?
Exactly.
Gringo.
Miklo. I mean,
It's funny because like we live in such a soft society now where I mean, growing up, everybody's nickname was depending on how you looked,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
whether it was good
Yep.
or bad.
True.
You're either referred to as skinny, you're referred to as fat.
Right.
Okay, but in Mexican culture, listen, I don't know why, but if you're fat and they call you gordo, it's a compliment. Like, I mean, I don't get it.
No, you guys are used to the suffering. You guys just wait because of the suffer.
Please do tell. Sure.
We're just joking. Get over it. Stop crying.
Yeah. Well, true story. My mom watches this. She'll tell you. One time, since we're joking about it, I was delivering papers, but I was late, so I jumped in the back of my mom's truck, and I'm just tossing them out of the back of the truck, and so my mom is in this cul-de-sac. And she decides to flip a U, but she decides to like do it, really fast. And so I'm on the tailgate, and when she whips it, right, like she's ghost riding the whip or something, when she whips it around, I fall out. And I just start rolling. Oh. I just start rolling on the ground. And I'm like 12, so I'm kind of crying, kind of not crying. And she tells me, she said, Cállate, mijo, you're too fat to get hurt, okay? Get in the car.
That's
awesome. So loving.
Yeah.
Hey, I felt the encouragement myself. I will get up for you, Mama Flores. I will.
Martinez,
mira, sorry.
That's a wound. That's a wound.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're just used to suffering. So my mom told me I was too fat to get hurt. And so, hey, it is, I mean, if you can't tell with John on here, I don't know if we're going to get through any segment. John, I don't think you need that energy drink, John. I just don't think you need it.
Well, it's because I have water in one and energy in the other. That way I balance out.
I don't even know where to go with that. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on here locally real quick. So I woke up the other morning to a barrage of text messages. Mira, John, you know what barrage is?
No, but I heard that if you have one, you're really rich. It's not a car?
No, it's not a car. That'd be a Bugatti.
Oh, Bugatti. I mean, both start with B's, no?
So, anyway, I woke up to a barrage of text messages, and one of the things that came out was a local church here, The Well, is set to get protested on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is what it says. It says protect LGBTQIA+ lives, protest hate speech. the Well Church is hosting an unchristian sermon series promoting homophobia. Please join us on the protest. Please join us on the protest against the Well Church. Let's get rid of this hate speech. And then it gives the address to the Well. These are the same people who were protesting us. I don't know. Anybody want to chime in on this? What do you guys think? I mean, I just want to say, I did tell everybody it's coming.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I don't know if it was weekly, but in no uncertain terms, I have always said that this was coming. I was the canary in the gold mine. And once they felt like they could do it to us, they were going to do it to anybody. But anybody want to chime in on that? What do you think? Mike, you got something to say on that? What do you think about this protest getting ready to happen?
We have been saying it.
Yep.
And people would say, why are you guys taking such a hard stance on trying to get into the tower? Well, it was never really about tower.
Right.
It was about being told what we can believe, what where we're supposed to go and how we're supposed to get there. And we're seeing it right now. We're seeing it how they're going to do the Well. This week's the Well. Next week could be People's Church. If you're going to make a stance for the Bible, at this point in the game in Fresno, they're probably going to take a shot at you. So
right.
I think it's about time that the churches kind of unite. We saw somewhat of unification downtown, a month or two ago, whatever that was.
Yeah, it was.
But then, I mean, like, where's the unity been since then?
Good point.
I mean, so we got together, we made a stance. I mean, that's awesome. But then now what? I mean, it's got to be something that's going to be ongoing, unless you think that this is just going to stop.
So, DeShawn, I have a question. Who gets to deem what is hate speech and what is not?
I don't know. If you ask directly, who would I believe I don't know. I'm glad for the Well taking a stance. I mean, not even taking a stance, they're just speaking truth. I mean, all my times I've been there, I feel like they preach the gospel and preach the truth.
They do.
And if they keep doing that, this is going to happen. And people are going to keep calling this hate speech. Because they can say, like, oh, you're harming me because this is my identity.
Right.
So that's why they want to tie it in to deal with, like, maybe race, that, being what they would identify as, they want to see the same as being black, as those two things are the same. So you could say when you
How long exactly have you been black?
I think since I've been born.
Okay, that's good.
Pretty sure.
So you've not changed it. Have you tried to identify as white, and how'd that go?
I haven't tried it yet, but next time I get pulled over, I'll try it.
Okay.
See what happens. According to Mike, it works out pretty good.
It's great. You get Token Junior over here.
Yeah.
Got him.
Oh my gosh. No, you did just do that. You did. That was good. Okay. So what you're telling me is you've been black all your life. And if you do get pulled over, the next time you do get pulled over, you're going to let the officer know that you identify as a white man.
Yeah, it ain't gonna work though. But
Okay, but it was a good shot. It was a good try.
But the thing is, they keep flowing back and forth. I'm this today. I'm this the next day. I don't get to choose if I'm black today or tomorrow. I'm black. Period. Like, that's just what it is. And so they're just making up stuff. But they want to jump onto that civil rights movement to say, like, hey, now this is hate speech. It isn't. We're just trying to speak the truth. The truth is, if you were a dude, you a dude.
Right. Yeah.
You don't get to switch. You're a girl. You're female. You're a girl. That's it. You don't get to switch back and forth. And so if you want to call that's not a hate speech. It's just telling the truth. If it hurts your feelings, I understand that might hurt your feelings, but your feelings don't matter because the truth is the truth.
Okay. John, how long you been Mexican?
Mira, my whole life.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Shout out to Bill. Shout out to Bill. Rest in peace, man.
Was I supposed to pour?
Oh, we're supposed to take a drink. All right, there you go.
Let's go. Salud.
Salud.
So here's the thing, guys. I've been Mexican my whole life. And hate speech, just part of our culture. If we didn't love you, we wouldn't talk hate towards you.
I'm not going to get anything done today. I'm not going to get it. You had a very good point, though.
Yes, you did.
So he had a very good point. So here's what I think. The thing that bothers me is, I agree with you, that doesn't bother me, is who gets to determine this hate speech. And to me, in my opinion, the only hate we saw on Sundays was the hate they gave.
Right.
Because I saw people trying to walk into church and just have love.
Yep.
You know, it was like a Black Eyed Peas moment. Where's the love, right? Like, they were the only ones. To date, we have never protested anybody. I still don't understand it. So for being so tolerant look at what's happening. And this is a shot across the bow to the rest of the churches. Excuse me. If you're going to stand on biblical truths and you're going to identify with the Bible, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're trying to live the word. Then get ready. Here it goes. It's coming. And this is just me, but I think people need to wake up. I think people need to wake up because I just don't see this getting any better. No. I don't. This is just my personal opinion. Yesterday was us. Tomorrow's the well. And then I don't care what church you are. And I like to know, this is my question. Maybe you guys can chime in on this. How they know just to boycott the well? What was it about the well? Does that mean that the rest of the churches aren't teaching about identity? They're not teaching about sexual covenants. They're not teaching. I mean, is the rest of the churches in Fresno not doing anything?
I think it was a special event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're bringing in a special speaker, I believe.
Okay. So that's how they knew? Because I'm sitting. Because the other question I had was like, why'd they pick the well?
From what I saw, the well was kind of pushing this as we got somebody coming in. It's going to be this 3-part series, special speaker. And so it was almost like an event. Okay. And so I think that's what they're jumping onto is the event.
And so from what I understood from the other screenshots of Twitter and other posts that were out there, is just because this person doesn't believe like them, it's automatically deemed homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic, everything they pretty much said about me.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so I have another question. This is just my question, just thoughts that I had running through my head. I wonder, is John Brown going to be out there videotaping small children and women? Mm. I wonder if they're going to do the full thing that they did to us, and is the well going to be able to get police assistance? Like, I wonder what's going to happen. Because I mean, I'm just curious. It makes me want to like drive by and see. Am I the only one who feels that way, or?
Well, I'm planning on going to support, and not support the protesters, but I mean, I plan on going to support and being there for their service on Thursday. Love to see how, if they need any help as far as like any tips on how to deal with people who harass, your congregants going into church. I'd love to be able to give some type of pointers on how to calm down parents who are, hyperventilating because their kids just got cussed out as they're coming to church, all those types of things. Hey, we've seen it.
You sound like you've got a lot of expertise in this.
Hey, well, we've seen it. Yeah, our kids dealt with it. Our wives dealt with it.
What do you think? You plan on going and visiting?
Yeah, I hope so. I forgot kids start school this week, so we got to see. This will be a crazy week. But I will like to go, and I mean, I'm sure they're going to give a good message about identity from a biblical point of view. Not what these people believe that, and I mean, it'll be something that's true, not the the wrong that they have. So I'll love to go hear it. So sure, be great.
Juan?
Yeah. Oh yeah, any chance I can get off of work, I'm definitely there.
It's at night.
In that case, yes, I will be there because my wife is busy and the kids have a lot of homework. So I will be there to support those peoples.
So what I heard you say is you're not helping out your wife and you're not helping your kids with homeworks.
Hey, when the Lord calls, I gotta go.
So if you guys are tuning in, welcome to the Not Offended podcast, where normally in podcasts you do have somebody who from time to time will do some color commentary.
Yes.
So since Bill the agent, I said agent, is not here, we decided to ask Jonathon Martinez to come and add some color commentary. And I don't think we've gotten through a subject yet with any type of seriousness because John will not allow that. John, John, why do you tell us about why humor? Why you love humor so much?
It's a great mask. When you don't know, make them laugh. And you're like, oh my God, that guy's smart, huh? No, he's so funny. That's why. But humor, I think for me, it's important. That we need to laugh. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of people who are going through some difficult things. And it's good from time to time to be able just to laugh. If anything, just to encourage you. I know with everything that went on at Tower and everything that we had to endure, there is nothing better, no greater medicine than to be in a room with these guys and just laugh. And so that's why I say humor.
All right, humor. There you go.
There it is.
So, Mike, you came across an article and since we're on this subject, and let's just keep it rolling. Why don't you bring us up to speed with what's going on here in Fresno locally again with the school system, and really let's dive into it. What you got?
Yeah, so the title of the article is California Department of Ed endorses books for kindergartners about questioning gender identity. And it talks about so from the state is going to allow for reading materials for kindergartners, first graders, and second graders.
What's the ages on that? What is it? We got like 5, 7?
5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And so the books are to introduce the concept of questioning individual gender identity.
Do we have an example in there of a book or anything?
Yeah, so there's a book called It Feels Good to Be Yourself.
Tell me about that.
A book about gender identity. And a quote from that is, your gender identity might not match what people thought you were when you were born, or it might not.
John.
Oh my God.
John, can you tell me what you knew at 5?
Mira, that I didn't know anything, that I needed to obey and listen. And if I didn't have my room clean, I was going to get spanked. But never did I have
Or
an
like
option
if you
to
liked crunchy peanut butter on your peanut butter and
Right.
jelly, or creamy.
No, it's quesadilla. It's quesadilla.
It's chorizo and huevo. That's all you had. Maybe a weenie with some tortilla. That's it.
What type of queso was it?
It was queso fresco because the other kind would cost too much.
So you didn't know anything at 5?
No, I didn't know anything at 5, especially that. How do you feel today?
Did your mom ever ask you how you felt when you was 5?
No, I was just glad that she was still in the house. I didn't want to be left alone.
God. Again, Mexicans learn how to suffer.
My mom did walk away one time, and my tia asked me. She said, "Don't worry, he'll find his way back."
Damn.
I think I had that sign, "Why kidnap me? I'm too fat to feed." It'll cost you too much. Give him back.
They returned them. Yeah.
Mike, what did you know at 5? Were you questioning your?
No, I think you're starting to learn like what sports you like.
You have a son who's 5. How's Judah?
Yes, 5.
What does Judah do?
5 and a
What does
half.
Judah do? He's 5. What does he do all day?
He plays. He just plays with trucks, plays with balls. Just loves to play. Knows knows what foods he likes, foods he doesn't like. Knows who his friends are, who his friends aren't. But that's it. Like, you're not.
Does he like to do it? Does he like to jump off stuff? Like to break stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you catch him peeing on a fence outside?
Peeing on the fence outside, peeing on the neighbor's car, maybe. But no, I'm just playing.
I like that boy.
Yeah, he's a kid. We're not talking about sexual identity with him at 5 years old.
No, D. How old's my godson? How old's Kai?
6.
6. Are you having gender identification question and answers like multiple choice at 5 and 6 at the dinner table?
No.
Then what the heck are we doing? Look at me. They're kids.
Yes.
They're 5. They're 6. Let them put on a towel, believe they're Superman, Superwoman, Batman, Catwoman. I don't care. Ain't nobody sitting at the dinner table asking a multiple choice question about gender identity. What the heck are you thinking?
That's crazy.
This is ridiculous. Where have we gotten where you send your kids to school to learn about sexual identity and how it might not match the plumbing or lack of plumbing? This is just ludicrous. We have lost our flipping minds. Parents, I'm telling you, you need to stand up. You need to speak up.
Yeah.
This has gone too far. Draw a line in the sand. Hold the freaking line. Knock it off. That's all I got to say. What do you want to say?
Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything, but I can say something.
Well, you motioned over like you had something to say. Go ahead,
I
speak on.
motioned?
I mean, you got kids this age. My kids is grown, so you got kids this age. Talk
No,
to me.
I've debated should I talk to my son about this, just to understand that.
Well, you might have to if they keep talking about it in class.
Well, yeah, because my whole thing, I always simply want to tell him was like, hey, a boy can't be a girl can't be a boy. If your teacher tells you that's possible, like tell her she's stupid and get kicked out of class. And I'll come get you. I want you to get kicked out of class. Tell her like, no, my dad said you're stupid. And if she keeps saying
Can you walk me through the game plan on that one? Because as a person who got kicked out of class a lot,
because I don't want her
in game.
I don't want her to keep teaching on that.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with getting out of class. I'm gonna show up and he's gonna tell me what they said. Then I'm gonna go tell the teacher she's stupid.
Okay, all right, well, Mike.
Well, I probably can't do that.
I'm just following.
Because I'm not Mike. I'm an angry black man as soon as I walk in.
No, hold on. He's 6'4", angry black man.
I'll walk in and they're already afraid.
You're token
Hey,
junior
look,
to
you
us.
So hey, if it happens, just call me.
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll go up. Yeah.
See, stand-in dad. I like that.
When the police show up, they're gonna talk to Mike. When the police show up and I'm there, I'm gonna get beat.
We'll go together.
What you gonna do? Record it or what?
No, when they show up, you just point it.
Okay. Real quick, we've been through this drill before. Whoever's getting beat, the other person needs to record. We already been through this. Everybody knows the rules. Everybody knows. Okay, but
I even got us a selfie stick.
We got the selfie stick.
God.
Hey, don't forget though, you're 6'4".
They really beating you.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, you're 6'4", so there is a level of intimidation. All right, there's a level of intimidation. But walk me through the rest of your gameplay because you left it off with, I told my son to tell the teacher they're stupid.
I haven't. This has been my thought. I haven't told him yet.
Okay, you haven't told them yet. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let's think through the rest of that game. Mike, go ahead. Mike, what are you prepared to do, Mike? Is it the same game plan over here or what? What are you doing?
I'm gonna tell DeShawn to go up to the school. Go get us some money, D. Go get me.
Oh God.
Well, actually, as I was reading this the other day, one of the things that came to my mind was I want to ask the principal at where our kids go to school, like, hey, are you bringing in these books?
Okay.
So this is from the state down. I don't know how much control the actual sites have of what books go into the library. I know out of my 3 kids that are at school, I know one of the teachers is a believer. I know she's not going to be pushing that stuff.
Okay.
So anyway, I mean, when it comes to my kids, so do I have that conversation with them? Yeah, probably not, because it's just confusing.
Yeah.
In general, having any type of like super deep conversation with my 5-year-old only goes so far.
Explain for those of us who our kids aren't 5 anymore. You know what I mean? Or don't have kids. Explain. Just give us a little, a little something of what that means.
Okay, so you start school on Monday. Okay, that's today? No, you're going to start school tomorrow. Okay, so after lunch. No, tomorrow. Even the concept of understanding days of the week, how, like, when tomorrow is, when next week is, when 3 days from now is, that is such a in-depth concept for them to understand. So when you start talking about questioning gender identity for a kid, it's not coming from the kid. It's coming from these parents.
Right.
So good.
Yeah.
You know, we have a friend of ours who is a trainer, and she hosted a camp for kids, and kids come from all different places. It's not like a church camp, right? It's a training camp for sports. And so she had a child that was in her class who I believe was 4. And the child wanted to go to one restroom, but was told by the parent, no, you're not that gender. You need to make sure that you go to the other restroom.
Oh, wow.
So the child comes in as a girl, but the parent is saying, you're not a girl, you're a boy. And so the child now is in the care of our friend, and so they had to use the restroom at some point during camp. And the camp counselor is like, "Hey, potty break, time to go to the potty." And she's like, the counselor says, "Hey, child, this is your bathroom." And she's like, "Oh yeah, that is." But then a sibling was there and was like, "No, that's not your bathroom." So this kid is totally confused, and the confusion is coming from the parent. It's not coming from the kid. The kid's not questioning gender at all. It's all coming from the parent. The majority of this stuff is all coming from parents. If you talk about a kid any less age of, like, let's say 10 or something like that, it's all coming from the parent. Instead of a parent like really pushing, this is who you are, this is how you're made, they make the kid question.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing with these books. They're making the kids question. It's crazy.
John, how old is your youngest?
She's 6.
That's my goddaughter.
Yes.
Yes. I see a theme going here.
Yes.
I'm just the godfather
Yeah.
here. So tell us about a conversation with her. Is she questioning? Is she what's on her mind?
That.
I know besides Starbucks, I
yeah,
get it. Yeah.
I mean, she always wants to know what time is lunch, right? Can she fight her brother?
and that answer is
Oh, it's always yes. Go
yes.
ahead.
That's right.
You know what I
Go
mean?
Mija. That's right.
Because if you know my daughter, I mean, she can hold her own.
She can.
She gets that from her mom. And so those type of conversations, no way. I mean, she's not worried about that. She's watching her little tablet or whatever she has in her room. She's hanging out playing Barbies, you know. First of all, I would love to know. I mean, I've yet to go to somebody's house, not even my own family's house. They don't have signs on the restroom that say, you know, girls' restroom here, boys' restroom there. You know, it's a restroom. That's all. I don't understand why we're doing these things to our kids. I mean, we got, on one end, you got people who are crying and complaining that this generation, they're so lazy, no one wants to work, they're not motivated. My gosh, my son, I can't get him to do anything. But then on the other end, now you want to be able to tell them, hey, well, this is who you are. And it's like, no. That's why I love our church. This is why I love our faith, because we get to inspire, we get to encourage, we get to affirm our kids that, you know what, you are beautiful, Sophia. You are a woman of God, that you're going to be someone great. There's going to be something that God has for you that's going to be special, rather than, you know what, causing these kids to go crazy or to, like you were saying, to just even question who they are. We're tearing down our kids when we should really be building them up.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we got to a place now where we got to put books in. Then what do you have the teacher there for? Like, I mean, what is your job? Well,
I thought it was reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's what I thought the job was.
Right.
We're doing sex ed now in kindergarten.
Yeah, but see, listen. So that's the part that I don't understand. Is we're all guys.
Right.
Guys' restrooms are nasty. If you're a woman, why would you ever want to go into a guy's restroom?
And I've cleaned a lot of them.
Yeah.
They're nasty.
Like, I don't even really want to go into a guy's restroom.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Is that truth or is that not truth? And that's the part I don't get. But I go back to this. I digress. But let's go back to this. 5, 6, and 7. I don't know what the heck you think you're teaching them. To me, my personal opinion, it sounds like it's a little bit of indoctrination and grooming.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what you need to think.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you how you need to react. I'm going to tell you how you need to respond. And I ain't buying it.
Well, you're for sure planting seeds because they don't understand the concept of it.
Your son just wants to know what school lunch is going to be today. Yeah. Let's talk about the things that matter. Right? Is it fake chicken nuggets or is it some cardboard pizza? Let's talk about the things that matter.
Right.
Chocolate milk or no chocolate milk, right?
Recess, no recess.
Hey, back off the recess. That's all that matters. Okay, that's the only way to get the ADD worked out right there. You got to have some recess. But am I right? Like, what are we doing?
Grooming.
Listen. We're gonna get there's gonna be a lot of flack for this. There always is. And here's what I say: bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it. We've been doing this educational system for how long? And we didn't have none of that.
No.
Everything was just fine. And now all of a sudden, we're getting this mad push for what?
Okay, it's just a bunch of sick adults. If I can confuse kids, it justifies what I do. So it's like I confuse these kids. See, look, they really can switch genders. I can too.
Well, before we got on air, you made a phone call, Token, because we heard a little rumor. And
You think that's pretty funny, huh?
This feels good, don't it? It feels good on this end, Token. So you made a little phone call because we heard a little rumor, and because it's not gonna stop at gender confusion, right? It's gonna also go into other things. You made a phone call to a friend who lives up in the Portland area, and tell everybody what he said a little bit, and then we're going to move on from this. We'll go ahead and let him know.
Oh, yeah, so I called my buddy because we were talking the other day, and he said that in one of the school districts that's near the Portland area, they are affirming people who consider themselves furries.
Can we get a Spanish translation, Juan, por favor?
Feres.
I feel like you made that up.
Yeah, I did.
Go ahead, Mike.
So they're putting cat litter boxes in certain bathrooms so that those who identify as a furry have somewhere to use the restroom. These are in schools.
So help me to understand, because you're perdido right now. I'm completely lost. John, are you lost? I'm lost.
Yeah, I've never even seen the cat box. Or what was it called?
Litter box.
Litter
bro.
box.
Litter
Yeah,
box.
litter box.
Litter.
Litter.
Not letter.
Litter, yeah,
Litter.
litter.
Mira, litter
A
box.
leader, yes, but not a letter.
Help me. Help. Are you confused? I'm confused. Are you confused?
Yeah, I mean, they're just people are just sick. They're gonna do all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
The logical outworking of this is that it's gonna be some grown man trying to rape little kids, and they're gonna say love is love. That's where it ends up at. That's gonna be the bottom of it. That's where it's gonna stop. And so love is love. Like, no, you're just sick and you need a bullet in your head. That's basically what it's gonna need to be.
Oh, Mike, token.
That is the extreme logical outworking of what they believe.
It is.
That's
where it goes.
Yeah, that's where it goes.
Okay. Wow. That was 0 to 60 real quick, didn't it?
Oh yeah, and I have no problem. Yes, if it's a pedophile out there raping a kid, we need to put a bullet in his head. Forget the courts. Bullet in his head.
Hold on. Let me readjust my seat.
Yeah.
Hold on here. So the bishop, the truth teller, has spoken.
Amen.
And I felt like you went down, and then you doubled down, and I feel like you double down. So is that a 4x4? Is that that's what I felt.
Good right there. Let us
Did I felt that, bro. Like that's some passion. That's some fuego right there. Did you feel that? I felt that.
I felt that. That brought me back to when I was 5.
Wait, what?
Talk about getting a whooping over here.
Yeah,
Never mind. Chocolate was in full effect. Well, so Mike, so help me to understand. So go back to the litter box. So am I to understand that okay? I'm trying to understand like
There are kids who identify as animals.
Bro, a litter box is like 6 inches off the ground.
Hey, we didn't get into details on how exactly it plays out, but he was saying that it's in play now, where they have litter boxes for these kids who consider themselves, animals.
Oh man, I don't even know where to go with this. Okay, we just gonna move along. So welcome to the Not Offended podcast, where we talk about culture and its influence on the church. And you know what my concern is you're seeing these articles pop up now where church hosts a drag show, church does this, church affirms this. And we're talking so much about this culture and what's just coming out of the church. The church needs to stand its ground. The church needs to get, the church needs to put a backbone right now where there's a wishbone. You know what I mean? We need to stand up. We need to get tougher than the gates of hell. We need to really do something. It's time to push back. I want to talk about something that we had a real brief conversation. I just let you guys know I was going to talk about it. But talk about culture and its influence in the church. We're going to take about the next 15 minutes. I've been wanting to talk about this. That is the growing movement of worship in the church. And I feel like we have hit sort of a time where if we're not careful, people will worship the worship music and not worship the creator who creates the worship music. And I'm going to throw this out there. Instead of being experience-based with some excellence, in other words, we're doing things right, it's getting to a place where it's almost performance-driven and even showy. And that is a direct reflection of you're seeing these worship leaders who aren't really submitted to any local church and have any real pastoring going on. So even their songs are weak theologically. And what it is just a bunch of people who are really gifted at playing an instrument and can sing really well. And that you can see that by the lack of theological formation, even in the writing of the worship music. And so, I don't know, I just feel like, what are your guys' thoughts? When I say excellence and I say performance driven or even showy, what's some thoughts that come to mind? I mean, what do you say about worship, Bishop? I mean, you're more old school. You would sing a hymn every weekend. Talk to me.
Man, I don't know. How do I not get in trouble here? Let's see.
This whole show. Killing
minutes ago, we spoke
people,
bullets,
man,
yeah.
calling the principal stupid.
You said some things that probably are going to be way worse than what you say right now. You're okay.
No, but those things, people know they're sick. I mean, this is,
So he doubled down, then he doubled down, and now he just
like,
tripled down?
because as soon as you miss worship, I saw Jake over there sit up in his seat. I don't know if that was purposely, if he did unconsciously.
I can't see Jake.
But I saw him sit up.
Hey, locks of love over there. Where you at, Jake? I can't see you. Locks of love. Where you at, bro?
I mean, a lot of it is that you can't tell is the heart of the person leading worship. I know, like our last first Wednesday, Kim and Ben did a great job. It wasn't like they did a good job singing. They did a good job playing. They did a good job of leading people into the presence of God. Like, it was so good.
That's good.
Like, it was like, man, no, like, you guys are doing a great job of leading me to like pray and to worship. Not to like, man, you guys are singing really good. And how do you find that balance of that? I think it has to be the heart of the person leading worship.
I like that.
And that way, it's not about, us being at Tower, us being at Palm, or us just being on the street, just singing together. Like, it can happen anywhere if the heart of the worship leaders is correct.
That was good. What do you guys? That was good. What do you guys want to piggyback off that?
Yeah, I know that I've been asked before in regards to like lights and the volume of music, like when you were saying showy, that's kind of like what I was thinking of.
Talk to me.
Like if you were to go to somebody who some of these worship bands who like tour, and what's the difference between their concert at Samar Center and a Bieber concert or somebody else's at Samar, a secular versus a non-secular concert, and at times it does seem very similar. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that there are times where if you're in the audience, you're looking at people on stage and you feel like it is a show based on, you can kind of tell that it's genuine or it's not genuine. I think that's what DeShawn was getting at, where you can really tell when, how do I say it? I think sometimes you can tell. I think to always say you can't tell is a little bit too much. But I think sometimes you can tell if the person is just full of it. Like if they're just up there just singing. Like you don't even really believe what you're saying.
All right.
Like we can tell that, or if you know the person, or whether you follow them on social media or something like that, and you're like, man, your lifestyle doesn't even match like what you're singing right now. Lord, you can have all of me. Well, that's not true. Like we just seen your post. Like
Somebody else had all of them? Or what?
it's like what? Like
You set me up for that. John, he set me up for that.
That was an easy one. That's where I was gonna go.
it's like I have a hard time following a lot of worship, like not secular, but like mainstream worship groups and stuff like that, because I'll come across some of their social media stuff, and I'm like, either that was just a bad day or what, but I can't listen to you if I feel like you're not really walking what you do.
Okay, that's good.
That's just that.
John,
my hiccup, I guess.
Give me your 2 cents.
Well,
or 5.
No, it's 2 cents. I'm with you, Bishop. Like it's all about the heart. Think Joey. You think like you were saying, Mike, is like how like a concert where there's lights, fog machine, what have you, and crazy drum solos, or I don't know, someone going off on their instrument or vocals. And I think what's hard is that people watch it on social media, and then they feel the pressure that that's how their church service has to be.
Okay.
And I think it should be about the heart. It's just like it should encourage you to do what you do. And I think the problem is that people don't know who they are, or what type, what type of worship music, or what their gifting is. And I think for me, I think that's what I look at, where it's like how you're saying, sometimes it's easy to tell, where it's just like, you're just doing it to do it. But I think that's why it's so important at the local church. It's like you're there and these people. You do. I think that's why I love our church and I enjoy the worship that we have, is because I know those people. They're not perfect, but I see their heart, and I can see that, hey, they truly are bringing us to the throne of God because, hey, we all need it.
Right.
I think the problem is that it's too mainstream where if you see it everywhere, then now I think that's now becomes right the standard or the measure, and where it's like now everything has to be that way. So you look a different way, you sound a different way, and it's like, no, it should encourage us to be what God has called us to be, and okay if it doesn't look the same way.
Well, so that brings me to this question then, right? So this is my opinion, and then you guys chime in. I don't mind having the lights. I don't mind having, well, I do mind if it's not good sound. I have to have good sound. That's just me. Being a wannabe musician, that means a lot to me. Because I feel like when the guitar does hit a nice lead, or the vocalists do hit their high note or whatever, I feel like that's important. I need to hear the keys. I want to feel the kick drum. This is just me personally. Lights, yeah, that's nice. The smoke, not a big fan of it. It messes me up when I preach or even when I sing. But I do feel like all of these things, when done right with excellence, they add to the atmosphere. They add to the ambiance. They add to what you're trying to do. Now, does that mean we got to have it? I will tell you right now, you do not. I was in Israel, and I was on the Sea of Galilee, and all we have was the guitar. We didn't have a cajon. We didn't have a bass. We didn't have drums. Rachel was leading us in worship. It was just absolutely dynamic and incredible. And I know. You're on the Sea of Galilee in Israel. I mean, that's a little bit. But see how that changes everything?
Right.
We did worship with no instrument in an old church in the old city. I can't remember what church. It might have been the Church of the Sepulchre. It may have been another church. But it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible because a lot has to do with where you're at and what's going on, right? So to me, I like having the lights. I mean, I don't need them, but I like it. I like having these extra things because I feel like it adds to what we're trying, the atmosphere. We're trying to set the table, the atmosphere. I don't know. What say any of you guys?
Well, I think not even for the worship team, but even those coming in, you need to come in with a sense of reverence for that moment. Realize that I'm coming in to worship God.
Right.
If you're not giving any reverence, it doesn't matter what the worship team does.
True.
It is not going to matter. You're just going to be there and just be cold. So you need to come in with a sense of reverence. Then also those who are in charge of the service need to, I have been thinking about this for a couple of weeks. It's even leaving time and space for maybe even times like we will stop and just have silence. Like you get to connect with God. I'm not leading you. There's nothing to listen to. It's just you get to speak. And some people aren't going to do anything like this is boring. That's why it's hard to be on stage and it's silent for a long time.
Yeah.
But that also gives people the time to reflect on what they've been singing or where they just heard preach.
Yeah.
And it gives them that time to truly connect with God. So having that time. So we leave an opportunity for them to give that reverence to God without noise, but them simply get their own thoughts and hopefully hearing from God in that way. I think it's important to have in services, but sometimes we don't like to have that time of stop. I know I feel uncomfortable on stage when I do it. I'm like, okay, man, it's been 30 seconds. So I'm like, okay, I need to say something, but just leaving that time for people to have that connection to God. I don't think those necessarily like lights and sound are bad. I don't always love a lot of the stuff, because I think it can distract. But if you're not coming with the reverence anyways, it doesn't matter what's up there.
Right.
So if you come with that reverence, none of that stuff will matter. You're going to try to connect with God. So.
Yeah, I know. I listened to Robert Morris said it in some message or something. I can't remember, but he had referenced basically all the different layers that people have to go through in order to be on stage to do worship at Gateway Church. And he was saying that it wasn't because, these people are so much better than other people, or that their love for God is so much better than other people, but they wanted to put their best foot forward, and they wanted to make it to where there wasn't a distraction coming from the stage. And I think that goes back to like the lights and things. If it's a distraction, then we talk about there's one light that sometimes people will have at certain churches, and it'll like hit you in the eyes. And he and I, we'll look at each other and be like, man, I got to get rid of that light. Because, you're sitting there worshiping with your eyes closed and you're, blinded by this light. That's a distraction to us, at least to me. But in regards to, wanting to put your best forward, you want people to be able to not be distracted. So you put your best singer up there. You put your person who's the best at playing the guitar. Perfect? Not perfect. Gonna make mistakes? Yeah, absolutely. But you want the emphasis to be on God. The emphasis to be worshiping him. So if there's anything that is taking away from that, then you want to eliminate that as much as possible. So for instance, if you were to put somebody on stage who sounded like a duck and you're going,
That's quack.
yeah, this is quack, right? And nobody's got their nobody's got their eyes closed. Everybody's looking at their neighbor and being like, man, what is this? Nobody's taking worship seriously.
Right.
But if you have somebody who's up there who's gifted at singing, who's gifted at leading worship, then you're able to close your eyes and be in the moment and try to connect with God as much as you can. And so anything that takes away from that, it is a distraction. So whether it be lights, the fog machine, or whatever. But then on the flip side of that, you could have the lights, you could have the fog machine, you could have somebody up there who's terrible.
John, thought.
My daughter, my oldest, she is going, she's playing drums. And so I enjoy sitting in the car with her and tell her, hey, listen to this. Or I play this for her. Because I want her to be the best. Mm-hmm. I want her to be good at what she does. I mean, you always tell us, like, hey, you need to work on your craft.
That's right.
And if that's what God has gifted her with, then I want her to be the best that she can.
I feel like she's going to be real good, bro.
Oh, I telling her, because it's like, I've never been a worship leader, so it's okay, Pastor Jake, don't worry about me. But, what I do like is, right, that you're that excellence aspect,
right,
where it's like you can make your own arrangement, you can bring your own element to the song and make it your own, but also at the same time, some like dead music, dead space, I prefer, hey, bring it into something else.
Okay.
Right? But I say all that to say is that, yes, preparation is needed, right? And we should have that mindset of excellence, that we want to honor God and give him our best. But I think it also has to do not only right with the outer, but it has everything to do with the inside. And so for me, I'm that's my 2 cents. Is that right now I'm in that area where I just want my daughter to be really good at this.
So does this mean you're not going to be the next Gilbert Daza, or you're not going to be the next Nick Gonzalez? Or
no,
what?
You know what I mean? Even though my wife had a crush on Nick Gonzalez, but from Salvador, but it's okay. I'm not going to be him because God wants me to be something better. No,
that sounds like that wounded you a little.
You know what I mean? I'm in process. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? There's still some hurt there because I can see that twinkle in her eye and she's not even looking at me. But it's okay.
Please go Google the band Salvador. You're going to see how different John and Nick Gonzalez is right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, well, I tell you what, thinking about this subject, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and just share this. I feel like today's topics were fire. I thought they were good. I think it's always a fine line. I think every church is really trying to walk that line, navigate that line of where it becomes performance driven and when it is a culture of excellence, where it becomes showy and then when it becomes to show off Jesus, right? And I love what you said, Token, that it's all about pointing to Jesus, because that's what it really is. It's about pointing to Jesus, about glorifying Jesus, about worshiping Jesus. It's not about the songs we write. It's not about the person who's singing. It's about the person we worship. And I think that's very important to always keep. I think that's always important to keep aware of that and keep Jesus at the forefront. I want to say this, though. In our midst of trying to find that balance, and the only way you get balance is sometimes you go a little too far to the right and a little too far to the left. That's how you get balance. Yeah. So I'm okay with the constant tension that is between those two. I'm okay with that constant tension because I know that it's there that we're finding the balance. I'm super proud of our worship team. Yeah. I know all the hard work they put into it, but I also know their hearts. There's a there's a plaque that sits above our door, and you guys need to know this. And it says, "Thank you, God, for choosing me this day. It's an honor and a privilege to take this stage. We worship you with our whole heart." Yeah. And that's what we touch when we go out there. Like, God, you chose us to do this. And we have a rule at Adventure Church, there's no divas. Everybody's accessible. Everybody's human, just like everybody else. We've just been given a gift. Yeah. And that gift is to lead people into God's presence. If it doesn't glorify him, then we don't want to do it. So, hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Not Offended podcast. Payaso, muchas gracias, bro, for filling in for the agent,
thank you.
bro.
He said, thank you very much.
Now longer than Token, he's the translator.
Exactly. Watch out. Hey. name.
New name starts with a T still. The token translator. That's great.
Yeah.
We want to thank you so much. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's your boy Anthony. Thank you so much. Hey, we love you guys. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Peace and we're out.